Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann, and it's just me.
Hi.
And I'm going to talk about something that affects my kids, which then affects me.
Oh.
Now, you may have seen recently that Independent School District 11, Anoka-Hennepin, voted to eliminate up to 75 support staff positions.
God damn it.
And frankly, I am fit to be tied. Last year was not good for my middle daughter. She had extensive support services and time down in the support office because she was going through some shit because of her mom.
You bitch!
Now, if you don't know, a kid that needs support or needs a break, it goes down there and there's counselors and social workers. And some of these counselors will spend an hour talking to a kid trying to calm them down from the anxieties of being a teen in today's modern digital world or dealing with difficult family situations. They're very handy people to have around, and I'm glad that we had them when she was going through all this. Now, there's also social workers that do things like independent education plans, or IEPs, you may have heard of them, or a 504 plan, which gives supports to your kid so that they can get certain services or extra passing time or any manner of support from the school in any way that they can offer it to make their time there more comforting. Well, they voted and they're going to eliminate 75 positions. And these are school paras that deal with special ed kids, counselors, social workers. And in my kid's school, they had 3 social workers. And they have over 1,000 students. And they break it down evenly. But next year, they're only going to have 2, and they've eliminated a bunch of their counseling staff and paras.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And one of the people that's getting laid off is the counselor that my daughter liked so much, that helped her so much. The social worker that dealt with her and helped with the 504 plan development to get her extra passing time and the ability to take tests out in the hallway away from other kids that can't stop tapping or fucking having autistic spasms and go, and distracting everybody. So she gets that advantage. Or at least I would say that's leveling the playing field so that she can focus on what she needs to. Well, that guy's going to keep his job, but he does the 504 plans. And now him and one other fucking social worker are all they're going to have. They eliminated one position, which means that the over 1,000 kids, instead of being evenly divided between the 3 of them, which even then was like 500 kids per person, is now going to be splitting the alphabet in 2, which I don't even know how you even that shit out. But it's just going to lead to more kids that aren't getting the support that they wanted. And I could sit here and tell you how fucking disappointed I am in the school board for voting on this. Or I could read you an email that I wrote. And this is what I sent to both the counselor and the social worker. And I might get emotional reading this because it really hits close to home for me. And I know I'm not the only parent with a kid that relies on these people to do the thankless job that they do. Gentlemen, I just wanted to write to you to let you both know that I hope neither of you are being laid off due to the budget cuts vote debacle. I already said one of them is. I found that out after I wrote this, obviously. Each of you has helped my daughter, and I hope you get the chance to continue to help the kids of the school going forward. Should that not be the case, I wish you both well and hope you land on your feet. Be aware that I am one of many furious parents who would gladly take a slight rise in my property taxes to keep all the support staff from being cut and the chance to keep their jobs. We're talking a budget shortfall of $7 million and counting. But what they can do is they can hold a special vote session for a levy to get extra property tax increases, incremental, from all throughout the ISD 11 area. And then they can have the money to keep these people. But I'm going to keep going with the email. Paras, counselors, and social workers are an essential part of our modern education system, and your efforts do not go unnoticed. Whether my daughter had gone through what she did last year or not, I would still feel the same way. It's not just because you helped us. Something tells me this will not be the end of this fight. I believe the school board just kicked a hornet's nest, and the result will be a special election for a levy to increase funding, like I just explained. Continuing, you can't tell me that one social worker per school is a wise policy, and some of them are going to that. I know dividing up 1,500 or so kids at that school between 3 social workers was hard enough. So how in the fuck does anyone include outgoing Superintendent Corey McIntyre, who happened to just say, yeah, we're going to do this, and by the way, peace out, I'm quitting, dickhead, expect the issues at these schools to not worsen due to the staffing crunch. IEPs, 504 plans, and special interest support groups don't perform themselves. My daughter attends a DBT, a dialectal behavioral therapy group. It's basically you go there and you talk to other people that have similar issues with anxiety and depression, and you learn how to cope, and you feel like you're not alone, right? So I said there's more need than ever with Gen A, so I cannot understand how we even got to this point. Kids with problem home lives will slip through the cracks. The stress may result in more kids self-harming, and I don't know how a single mental health professional takes on that workload, meaning what they already had and what it's going to be going forward. The powers that be need to remove their heads from their collective asses and ask the people of the involved communities to pitch in to keep the student bodies of district institutions stable, because I cannot imagine that a solitary staff can stop the proverbial dam from bursting. I made a post on Facebook with the school board's contact info, asking others to share it and join the effort to try to save these positions by special election vote levy suggestion. I hope that word starts to spread more from parents like me to get the ball rolling. Thank you, and I included my name. Now, it took a little bit. I sent that on March 25th. I got a reply on April 6th, and it was from the counselor. Hi. Thank you for taking the time to reach out. I also apologize for the delayed response, as I'd been holding off sharing much until recent building decisions were finalized. I appreciate your kind words and support. It means a lot to hear, especially knowing the impact this work has had on your daughter and your family. Our building, along with many others in the district, will be facing some challenges due to the budget cuts. They did have to make some very tough decisions here at our building, and given their staffing allocations, unfortunately, that includes cutting my counseling position as well as impacting other counseling positions. Next year, they're expected to have 2 counselors and 2 social workers. It's not enough. I'm very grateful for the opportunity I've had to support your daughter and so many other students and families. Working at the school has been incredibly meaningful to me, and I truly value the relationships I've built during my time here. I also want to thank you for your advocacy and willingness to speak up in support of student services. While I can't speak to all the district-level decisions, I do know that strong family voices matter and can help shape the conversations moving forward. Please continue to reach out as needed throughout the remainder of this school year. I, and the social worker's name, will be here if you need us, although he will be out for family leave, possibly for the rest of the year, but I'm happy to support in his stead when able. Thank you again for your support. It truly does not go unnoticed. Wishing you and your daughter all the best. And then his name. Now, let me tell you something. I did not have an easy go in elementary school. I got bullied mercilessly about my sister being mentally retarded. And I just had problems getting along with people. I don't know. I guess I was an easy target for one reason or another. Maybe my clothes were dumb. Maybe the way I talked sucked. I don't know. But I got made fun of a lot. And eventually, because I fought so much, they sent me to our school counselor. Now, she was basically unfucking prepared on how to deal with anything that I threw at her. And she didn't seem to notice that a lot of the chaos was at home for me. But anyways, she asked me one time, what makes you feel better? I'm like, when I get angry, I break things. Just meaningless things, but I break them. She's like, oh, well, maybe we could have things for you to break here. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And that was the end of it. I never went and saw her ever again. I didn't have a therapist until I was 15, and that didn't happen until I had attempted suicide. Now, maybe if I had more counselors and more people at my school had prioritized sending us when we asked to go to the counselor, because there were times I asked before my attempt, and they're like, no, you got to stay in class. You do it after. It's like, I'm having the thoughts right now. I didn't say, I'm thinking about killing myself. Can I please fucking go talk to somebody? I didn't want to raise suspicion. I tried to maintain some semblance of dignity by not broadcasting how fucking far gone I was and becoming, rumor fodder for everybody at lunch or in passing. Well, that was the 80s and the 90s. It's been 30 fucking years. And my kids have to deal with the internet and social media and constant digital connectivity and being bullied at school and after and not getting along with people and then having them try to fuck with you when you're at home where you should be comfortable and at peace. And I imagine there's just as many kids that grew up in my era that had fucked up home lives, that they needed more support. But the need was not recognized. And as time went on, you can say kids got softer, but society also got a hell of a lot fucking more vicious and meaner and less caring and empathetic. So then you saw more people go into the counseling and social work field. And you saw schools have more specialty staff and paras to support them. And as the need has grown, so has the staffing level. And I realize there's not an infinite budget, and I want all these kids that have these shitty lives to hopefully have someone to support them so that they don't end up killing themselves or cutting themselves or experimenting with drugs and alcohol or running away from home and ending up getting human trafficked or something like that. Like, you want these kids to be supported because strong, well-developed adolescent minds become emotionally well-adjusted adults that can handle the world. And if they're not going to get the support that they need now, they're just going to fall further away from where they need to be and slip through the cracks, so to speak, as the cliche goes, and end up with God knows how many problems. I mean, there's a fatherless epidemic, and those kids that grow up with just single moms are more likely to be pregnant, on drugs, in trouble with the law, drink, experiment with sex, get into trouble, run away from home, you name it. All the statistics say that having a dad around is a really big deal, and too many kids don't have dads. And for the ones that don't have dads that need help, they have these support staff. And if you don't have as many support staff at the school or as many social workers, who's going to run the support groups like the DBT that my daughter attends? Or who's going to handle all the IEPs and 504 plans? They're going to be fucking overwhelmed. And then you're going to see burnout. Social work is notorious for having too many clients, too much work, and people going, I can't fucking do this anymore. And I got to tell you, if you get into the social worker counseling field, you have to actually give a fuck. You have to be cut from the cloth where you care about others. You have to actually sit there and put other people's needs before your own, because what you feel the satisfaction from in your employment endeavors is making a positive impact to benefit the youth that you serve. And it's the same thing goes for counselors and psychologists and shit in the adult world. Like, these people went to school for this. They care. Now, modern therapy is all about making you feel well rather than be well. It makes you think that you're okay instead of making sure you're okay. And yeah, more often than not, if you're a grown-up and you go see a therapist, they're just going to nod with you and say, well, it seems like you're handling it well, or maybe you should try this. They're not going to tell you, you're a fucking idiot and you need to do this, that, and the other. Now, these students that deal with the school staff, they're not going to get that hard-edged, cold truth, but they're going to get a positive impact from somebody that takes the time. And hopefully, like I said, it turns it around for them. Because every kid that doesn't get the support they need could potentially become somebody who doesn't feel supported and they're so depressed they end up doing themselves in. It can happen. Or they turn out to be a piece of shit that victimizes another kid, right? They don't have the controls on their anger and they fight a lot, like I did, until I realized I was sick of getting in trouble, and if I didn't let them get under my skin, they couldn't hurt me anymore. I had to come up with that on my own. I developed my own coping mechanisms in fucking 6th grade. Because nobody knew how to do it for me, or nobody tried to help me. They're just like, God, he hit somebody again, make him stay in from recess. That's all they did back in the day. Now, sure, they have in-school suspension and shit, but they will try to support you and talk to you and see what the root problem is. Nobody gave me that, and we need those people, especially in inner-city schools, where there's a greater percentage of kids that have fathers that are either not around, completely absent, or in jail or something. It doesn't happen so much in the burbs and the exurbs, trust me, unless your dad got caught with a meth lab and then he went to prison. You're far more likely to have family if you live out in the boondocks. Maybe that's just because where the conservatives hang. So now I worry, because next year is my daughter's last year at that school. She'll be an 8th grader, and she doesn't look forward to high school. Hell, she's barely making it day by day just because of the other kids, and she's not having mental health crises anymore. She's got a good handle on it, but she doesn't even want to go to therapy because she thinks therapy is bullshit. And if you still have external stress all the time and it doesn't change, what's the point of therapy? Sound like anybody you know? Totally is a chip off this block because she's heard me say it too many times, but she's also heard me say that therapy is not a bad thing and you should go see Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so. And she's had counselors in elementary school that supported her when they were dealing with their mom, losing custody, being on drugs, being strangled by her boyfriend. There's so many kids that have single moms, and these moms get caught up with these dudes that treat them like shit, or they have parents that are in and out of their life. They need the support staff. And I have to say, shame on the school board for not working harder, for trying to convince the populace, of which a great many of them have kids that go to schools in the area here, to try to just give a little bit more. I know we're all stretched thin, and groceries are expensive, and gas is at a fucking near record high, and we're all just gritting our teeth at the cost of life. But investing in our youth is how we invest in our future. And if we don't take the time to make sure these kids are supported, well, then they're just going to be the statistics of tomorrow. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It Podcast Show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann. And that's the end.